I'm Howie Scarborough. I'm the CEO of Fall Protection Distributors, and we recently put out a blog on the website. It's focused on all-star metal roofs, standing seam roof systems. They make two different standing seam panels, and we're talking about the proper fall protection to be used on these panels to protect the roof system from damage, as well as protecting the workers, of course. So if you jump into this blog and you scroll down, if you don't know which panel you have, it's pretty easy to identify. They do make a mechanical lock. As you can see, this is a seamed panel. This is available in 24 gauge steel. And their other panel is a snap lock. So the issue with this panel is it's made from lighter gauge material. This is 26 gauge steel, which means that it's not going to be compatible with seam mounted equipment, but we do have an alternative product for that. So once you've identified which panel you have, you can scroll down here to our quick reference chart. So the Grande is the mechanical lock, and as you can see, the seam-mounted equipment is compatible. And then the snap lock, the shape of the panel is fine. It's a lighter gauge steel. So whenever we're talking about attaching to the seams, you want to make sure you're on straight knob curved panels, and you want to be on 22 or 24 gauge steel if you're talking about attaching to the seams for fall protection. So let's talk about the product. So the SSRA1 Anchor uses 12 non-penetrating set screws. It's the lightest anchor out there. It's about 5 pounds. It's a solid one-piece aluminum body with 12 set screws, and it has a removable D-ring. So this one anchor is going to fit about 95% of today's standing seam panels. So if you do invest in something like this and you're going from job to job, there's 95% chance it's going to fit the standing seam panel that you're working on the next project. So with the cup tip set screws, that's a standard configuration that's intended for 22 gauge steel, and you want to torque those to 90 inch pounds, not foot pounds, inch pounds. So if you are working on 24 gauge steel, you use the same anchor, you just use a different set screw, and that's the nylon tip set screw. So for 24 gauge steel, you're going to torque 180 to 200 inch pounds. So you've got a softer bite on the panel. You've got a lighter gauge panel, but you're going to use more torque. You're going to go 180 to 200 inch pounds on that. Now, with either of these anchors, once you get those mounted in place, if you would mount those 8 feet apart and remove the D-rings, you can then get you a pair of SSRA2 roof jack adapters. These mount on top of those anchor bodies, and that is the mounting system that's going to allow you to put a 10-foot wooden walkboard on a roof. So that's going to get your worker a nice level walking surface on a steeper roof for a worker that's painting or doing some sort of service work. Nice, stable walking surface. So one nice feature of the SSRA2 roof jack adapters is they are roof pitch adjustable as well as seam height adjustable. They have adjustable side legs. Once you get those mounted on the seam, if the side legs are not contacting the flat part of the panel, you just loosen the side wing nuts and drop the side legs down, and there's a padded aluminum foot on each side that's going to contact the panel. You tighten the wing nuts back up, and that stabilizes that walkboard while you're on it. Now, if you need maximum mobility and you need a 100-foot temporary horizontal lifeline, we offer a SSRA3 Anchor Plate. And that's attached on each end of a 100-foot horizontal lifeline, or any size lifeline up to 100 feet. And each of those plates, each of those SSRA3 plates mounts on top of 2 SSRA1 anchors. And those adjust because of the grooves cut in the plate. You can adjust those from 12 to 24 inch wide panels, which is most panels out there by far. We also offer a complete kit that's going to provide everything you need for non-penetrating horizontal lifeline. And that's going to include 4 of the seam anchors, 2 of the plates, and a 100-foot horizontal lifeline. And that lifeline does have a rope tensioner, so you can shorten it to any length that you need for the job. In addition to that, we offer a permanent 120-foot super anchor lifeline for standing seam roofs. That is an industry exclusive. It's the only one I know of. It's the only kit I can think of in the industry that is permanent for standing seam roofs. So that's a super anchor 120-foot kit. That includes the clamps, the base plates, 5-inch riser posts, and 120 feet of galvanized steel cable. That's available on the website as well. Now, let's circle back to something like the Oxford snap lock panel that's in 26 gauge. As I said earlier, you can't attach to the seam of that because the material is not strong enough to support that anchor in the event of a fall. So what do? So we switch over to a product like the Ridge Pro. So the Ridge Pro is sort of like a ladder hook, except instead of the big bulky ladder, it just mounts on the end of a 16-foot extension pole. So you would climb a ladder, use the pole to run it up the roof, flip it 180 degrees over the peak, and it secures a vertical lifeline. So as soon as you step off the ladder, you're already secured to a lifeline that is locked over the peak of the roof. You can do your repair, do your inspection, safely get back to the ladder and to the ground. You are never on the roof unprotected. So the Ridge Pro fits most roof types. The big thing about the Ridge Pro is it's designed for 612 to 1212 pitch roofs. Doesn't have to be metal. It can be shingle, TPO, whatever you have. So something else to check out, gives you another alternative. So if you have any questions about any of these products or any of these panels, our phone number's at the top of the website. You can email us at support@fallpd.com. And you can always click during business hours, this little blue circle in the bottom right corner, and this is our live chat. Just let us know how we can help you.